Imagine this. A nation that once exported its brightest minds in search of opportunity is now so powerful in shaping the world's future that the most dominant country on earth feels threatened, not by weapons, not by armies, but by intelligence. This week in Washington, the world witnessed a moment that stunned both America and India. Former U.S. President Donald Trump took the stage at a high-profile artificial intelligence summit. The room was buzzing with the who's who of global technology, executives from Google, Microsoft, and OpenAI, scientists, innovators, the best of the best. Cameras flashed, microphones adjusted, and then Trump uttered words that made the hall fall silent. American companies, he said, must stop hiring Indians. Not Chinese, not Europeans, not Latin Americans, specifically Indians. For a moment, no one moved. The words weren't ambiguous. They weren't hidden in political jargon. They were direct, deliberate, and unmistakable. The former president of the United States had just asked Silicon Valley's giants to cut off the very professionals who helped them become global leaders. But why? Why single out Indians? Why attack the very community that has built the engines of modern America's digital economy? The answer is unsettling. It isn't just about jobs. It isn't just about immigration. It is about fear. Fear of India's rising intellectual dominance. For decades, Indian professionals were seen as reliable problem solvers. They wrote code, fixed bugs, kept the digital world running smoothly. But today, the story has changed. They are not just maintaining systems, they are designing the future itself. From Sundar Pichai at Google to Satya Nadella at Microsoft, from chip designers powering the next generation of semiconductors to AI architects rewriting what machines can do, Indian minds are now the strategists, the visionaries, the leaders. Consider this. More than 70% of H-1B visas, America's golden ticket for specialized talent, are awarded to Indians. At every major U.S. tech company, Indian origin executives are not only present, they are steering the ship. And this is exactly what unsettles people like Trump, because Indian professionals no longer play supporting roles. They are at the center of the global tech revolution. They are not just joining the game, they are rewriting the rules. So the raw question must be asked, why Indians? Why not target other immigrant groups? Why not make a general statement about outsourcing? The answer cuts deep, because in today's technology landscape, no group has risen faster, stronger, and more decisively than Indians. This is not about cheap labor. That era is over. This is about intellectual disruption, about innovation leadership, about a community that, in just 2 decades, has gone from silent contributors to global decision makers. In artificial intelligence, in quantum computing, in climate-focused algorithms, in space exploration, Indian professionals are leaving fingerprints everywhere. They are behind GPT frameworks, next-generation chipsets, and mission-critical solutions that define the 21st century. Trump's statement is not a rejection of immigration. It is an acknowledgement, an admission that Indian intellect has become too powerful to contain. Here lies the irony. The very companies Trump accuses of betraying American workers, Google, Microsoft, Apple, owe much of their success to Indian talent. Their innovation engines, their breakthroughs, their ability to scale globally were powered by multicultural teams and disproportionately by Indians. Without Indian professionals, research slows. Without their expertise, patents shrink. Without their vision, the cutting edge begins to dull. And yet, even as Indians drive Silicon Valley, something more remarkable is happening. They are no longer waiting for American validation. In Bengaluru, Hyderabad, and Pune, billion-dollar startups are emerging. In Dubai, Singapore, and London, Indian origin founders are building unicorns. India's own AI labs are producing breakthroughs tailored for local languages, agriculture, defense, and healthcare. This is what truly shakes the old guard. The flow of talent to America is no longer a one-way street. India itself is becoming the destination. For Trump, and for those who cling to the old order, this is intolerable because it means America cannot control India's rise. It cannot redirect its brilliance. It cannot monopolize its future. Let's not be mistaken. Trump's words were not careless. They were not a slip of the tongue. They were carefully crafted, aimed at a very specific target. But was it racism? Not in the traditional sense. This was not about skin color. This was about something even more threatening to America's old systems: intellectual independence. Indians are no longer viewed as an immigrant workforce. They are being seen, even feared, as an emerging intellectual class, a class capable of challenging Western dominance in innovation itself. And for a politician like Trump, This message plays well. In the rural heartlands of America, where factories closed and jobs vanished, where globalization feels like a curse, many see their replacements not as machines, but as highly skilled foreigners, often Indians. Trump knows this resentment. He channels it. By saying stop hiring Indians, he positions himself as the protector of the American worker. But what he does not admit is this. Those very workers benefit from technologies that exist only because Indian minds built them. Artificial intelligence is not just about chatbots or software. It is about defense systems, global finance, surveillance, space exploration. Whoever leads AI will shape the next world order. For decades, the West assumed it would always lead. But the ground is shifting. Breakthroughs are no longer confined to MIT or Stanford. They are emerging from IITs, from India's vibrant research labs, from teams working on local soil. India is not merely participating in this race. It is building ecosystems that the world cannot ignore. AI tools tailored for 22 Indian languages, semiconductors designed for the subcontinent, space missions that cost a fraction of Western budgets but deliver extraordinary results. This is innovation not just for India, but for humanity. And this is why attempts to contain Indian talent are futile. The genie is out of the bottle. The new generation of Indian thinkers doesn't wait for visas. They don't seek approval, they create, they scale, they lead. So what does someone like Trump do? Faced with this unstoppable force, he falls back on politics, tighten visa rules, pressure companies to hire American, wrap it in nationalism and present it as patriotism. But beneath the slogans, the truth remains. The U.S. needs Indian talent more than Indian talent needs the U.S. Because the new India isn't just exporting brains, it is exporting ideas. It is exporting systems. It is exporting leadership. The old equation, where Indians sought opportunities abroad, has flipped. Now the world looks toward India. This is the reality that Trump's statement accidentally revealed. It wasn't an insult, it was a confession that the Indian intellect has become too influential to ignore, too capable to dismiss, too powerful to restrain. When the most powerful nation in the world publicly asks its biggest companies to stop recruiting Indians, it is not because Indians are weak. It is because Indians are strong. And here lies the great irony. Indian professionals didn't rise by tearing others down. They rose by building, by learning relentlessly, by adapting, solving, and creating. From remote villages with a single laptop to global boardrooms shaping trillion-dollar strategies. The Indian spirit of resilience has shown one undeniable truth. Brilliance knows no borders. So let's be clear. This moment should not be seen as rejection. It should be seen as recognition. Recognition that Indian minds have reached a level where they can bend the global order. Recognition that the West has begun to resist what it can no longer dominate. And recognition that the Indian century is not a distant dream. It is already here. The world has admitted it, even if unwillingly. The rise of Indian talent is unstoppable. From Silicon Valley to space missions, from artificial intelligence to entrepreneurship, India is no longer waiting for permission. So the question is this: if a single community across oceans can reshape the destiny of other nations, imagine what 1.4 billion Indians can achieve when they stand united, proud of their past, fearless in their present, and determined to lead the future.